Hi everyone, welcome to our geography lesson for today. It's going to be a bit of a shorter video because you're going to be in your geography this week carrying out your own project. A bit like you did in history on Monday, where you got to go away and do some research on sort of an area of your choice. That's essentially what you're going to be doing in our geography. Now, we do this every year. We get to the end of our South America unit, and we haven't really looked at any of the countries within South America, and some of you may be really interested in some of them. For example, Brazil or, Argentina. You may have an interest. Equally, you get to the end of year 6 and you haven't really had a look at European countries. And a lot of you maybe have family or are from yourself one of these countries. For example, we have children from Romania, I know we've had some in the past from Germany, we've had children from Hungary, Croatia, France, all over. And I know that even in year 6 at the moment, we've got someone from Brazil, a South American country. So we have to celebrate these countries, and some of you will have a real interest in finding out about them. So, Mr. Kent, you're waffling on. What have we got to do? Well, let's have a bit of a warm-up. I want you to see how many of these countries you can remember from South America. It's given you the starting letter. Pause the video, see how many of them you can work out what they are. Don't cheat. Or try not to. Off you go. Okay, and you're back with me. So, I haven't looked at the answers, I promise you. So I'm going to have a go as well and see how many I can do. So if we start over here, let me get my pen ready. Right, P. Well, P would be Paraguay. C could be Colombia. Could be Chile. There's another C. FG, French Guiana. Oh, I can't remember how to spell it. I think it's that, but I'm not sure. G. G. Oh, struggling with that one. S. Suriname. Think. E. U would be Uruguay. P would be Peru. Argentina. B would be Bolivia, I think. FI would be the Faroe Islands. V would be Venezuela. E would be Ecuador. B. Okay, those are the two I'm not sure of. Did you do better than me? If you know what those two are, please let me know. I'm going to go away and research it and then kick myself. Okay. So, what kind of information are you going to include in your project? Well, for your project, you're going to compare a South American country of your choice with a European country of your choice. Okay? The project will be researched. It says on the Chromebooks this is aimed at school. You can research it on whatever device you have at home. And then either you're going to write it onto a page, comparing one to the other, or you can make a PowerPoint, or you can do a document on it, however you like. Entirely up to you. Okay? But what do you need to include? Well, these are what we need to see in your project for each country. So you're not just going to do this for one, you're going to do it for your South American country and for your European country. So you need to have key facts, currency, which is the money that they use, how big is it, where is it, what continent is it on, etc. The climate of each country. If you're not sure, Google it, that's what it's there for. What is the Google of What is the Google? What is the climate of France? What is the climate of Brazil, for example? Population, GDP, life expectancy. Now, again, you're not going to know that, so you're just going to type into Google, what is the population of whatever country you've chosen? What is the life expectancy of whatever country you've chosen? GDP is a measure of how rich a country is. So if you type in what is the GDP of Brazil, it will tell you. And generally, the higher the GDP, the richer the country is. So you compare your countries and see which has the higher GDP. What life is like? How are you going to do that? Well, just when you have a look at your country, just see, do they have a lot of festivals? Are they really keen on sport? Is it really cold there? So, do they like to go out a lot? Do they tend to stay indoors more? Well, everyone stays indoors at the moment, but, in normal times, do people go on holiday there? Maps of both countries and pictures. The flags are really important, so get the flags on there for both of them. And any interesting information you can find out. If you know a particular food is from there. Now, some of you may pick a country, the European country, that is related to you. So you may know lots of information about it already, and that's great. That's really good. Please tell us. This is what it's about. Do research on a country or countries that interests you. Buildings, any famous landmarks that are there. For example, if you were to do France, you could put the Eiffel Tower. The history of the place. Now, if you're not sure how you're going to lay it out, you could do something like this. I will post this on Seesaw for you. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to, so I don't want you feeling like you have to. If, however, you do want this template, then that's absolutely fine. What you can do is email me, and I will send it over to you individually. Okay? But the reason I'm not doing that is because I want you to have some creativity with this. I want you to lay it out in a way that suits you. Normally, I like giving you a structure, but I don't want to with this because last year we just said go for it, and this is what we ended up with. And it was fantastic. I'm hoping you're looking at this going, yeah, that's amazing. And it was. They did this in their books. They did the research on the Chromebooks, they printed off a few pictures, and they went away and produced this. Even children that didn't really like art loved this because they could just do what they wanted. Now, as you can see here, last year we said to them they had to do Germany and Peru because the children were in either Germany class or Peru class. This year I'm not saying that. This year I'm saying you can pick a country from South America and you can pick a country from Europe. But what you do need to do, like they did, is make it a comparison. So they did Germany versus Peru. You could do France versus Brazil. Okay? And then whatever information you do about one country, you do the same about the other country. Now it's up to you. There's two kind of different ways you could do it. So way one is you could do, imagine that you're doing, oh, that's really wonky. So you could do, say, I don't know, France at the top, and then you could do the population of France, images, life, etc. And then you could do the same for your South American country. That's one way of doing it. And that is what this one here did. However, instead, what you could choose to do, like this one here did, which I really like, is you could just have your two countries and put subtitles. So you could have a subtitle of population. That's a really bad piece of writing, Mr. Kent. Blimey. Anyway, you could put a subtitle of population and then underneath that subtitle put what Germany's is, or France, or whatever you've picked. So put Germany's, and then put Peru's. So you create subheadings and then underneath you put about both countries. So you can either separate your countries and do information about each of them, or you can do subheadings and then put the information about both of them under that subheading. This is here to help you. I go back to this slide so that you can pause and make notes on it. This is what you need to include. So either take a little photo of this or whatever you want to do, but make sure this is the information you're going to include. What I will do is I'll create an activity on Seesaw with this information on it so that you have something to submit your work to. For now, a bit of a short video today, but thank you very much for listening. Enjoy researching. I've waffled on. Off you go.